Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Venomous Fringe. Tonight's episode is going to be a little different, as we decide that during the weekdays, we'll upload one episode on par with regular Sunday at 9 programming of the 10 Tales of DOGMAN. Do keep in mind that this is not a YouTube channel dedicated to 100% DOGMAN, but other topics as well. Just a FYI. Tonight we're going to discuss an encounter coming from Oregon. For the protection of this individual, I'm going to give him the name of Alex. Thank you, Alex, for submitting this story. And for you guys, get ready. Be by the bonfire. Have the nice burning warmth chirp through the wood. And prepare for a Dogman encounter. I grew up loving the outdoors. I never had a bad encounter outside. I've always seen deer, bears, cougars, you know it. My father was a hunter and salesman, whereas my mom was a stay-at-home. We always liked to go down south of Oregon to a cabin we rent every summer when we would have the warm weather approve. I'd always had a thought to more in life. I always believed that there was more to life. I know that sounds a little silly, and maybe it might allude to my encounter, but I will say that I did have a pretty interesting mindset on what roamed the woods at night, especially if you'd go down every summer to a cabin. By 2015, I had already graduated college. My girlfriend and I were on the verge of moving into a new home. On the property lines, however, I wanted to at least spend another summer at the cabin, this time without my family. I had spoken to my father about it, and he was perfectly comfortable with my girlfriend and myself going down to the cabin to enjoy ourselves. When we went down there, it felt rural. It felt like there was more and more less people every year as time went on. It felt a little strange going down and not noticing a couple people that we'd always see no longer be there. I felt maybe they just decided to not give up the cabin anymore and sell it to somebody else and have them rent it out. But even no renters were coming in either. That was a little strange, but when we came down to our ends of the cabin, we were lucky to be there in paradise, as always. By dusk, we had a small campfire, telling spooky stories and enjoying ourselves. We had a beautiful lake surround us from behind. On top of that, where we stood, we had an amazing view of the sunset. With the birds chirping and the animals in the background far in the forest running around, we were having a relaxing time. By 9 p.m., we put out the campfire and proceeded to go inside. I felt a weird presence before I left and went indoors. It felt mysterious, but it was right when I was putting out the fire. Something told me, or something in general, something mysterious was watching me. Maybe that was a slight bit of paranoia, who knows, but it was quite mysterious for time being. We went inside. We decided to lay down. We had a no residential Wi-Fi, no nothing in these cabins. So we only had our phones. So we decided to watch a little something on a portable DVD player that we had bought from ages ago. After watching a few movies, and by time it hit 11:30, we decided to go ahead and crash. We crashed for a little while, my girlfriend dead asleep. I myself was up for a little bit time being, and by 2 a.m., I woke up instantly. For some mysterious reason, I just got up and I didn't understand why. It was right then and there where I sort of realized that I felt like I was being watched again. But I kept my instincts to myself and I kept quiet. We had a couple windows open in the cabin and I decided to shut them as it felt a little too chilly. My body temperature probably telling me to shut them down, whereas my instincts were telling me otherwise. When I shut all the windows and went to go grab myself a glass of water, I took a couple gulps and proceeded to head back to the room. The hallway has a window facing straight ahead, so you're going to look straight ahead before you make the right into the bedroom. And on that window, there was a creature staring right at me. I could see through its red eyes, the red eyes of evil as I could zoom. It sat there staring at me, looking at my every move as I sat there face to face with it. We were behind a window, but that didn't matter. This thing could have came in and attacked me either or. It had any option, it had any value. It could have attacked me. It didn't. It just stood there and stared at me. It grinned. Keep in mind, the lights were out and the moon was shining, so I was able to get a good look at the snout and teeth. And those things looked terrible. They looked like they were monstrous and something you'd see out of a hellhound. But the mysterious part about it was the red eyes. The creature, what felt like a 3-minute encounter, was actually 60 seconds. Ran off, and before it did, it let out an awful howl. A howl that was very disturbing. And you can hear screeching from the woods panel up left. That's my encounter. I didn't say much afterwards to my girlfriend. She was dead asleep. I had no clue what these things were, and I didn't even bother to go back to the cabin the following year. I told my parents I didn't feel comfortable anymore going to the cabins, and felt that it was time to give up the cabin lifestyle. I didn't want to make that decision, but I didn't feel comfortable or even safe, as childish as this might sound, to see such a creature there so menacing and so intimidating. My girlfriend even asks me to this day why I don't go out into the woods. Not as much. And we're expecting our first child. One day I hope I can have the strength to talk to her and tell her about what I saw, but at the same time, for the protection of my future child and my family, it's best not to say. I hope this encounter can help others come forward about their experiences with the mysterious DOGMAN creature. That is all. Thank you everybody for watching this video, and I hope it was interesting. We will see you on Sunday.